Uh, yeah. It's LuRocK. You already know. Make no mistake. Yeah. Oh. Welcome to the first episode of my new podcast. It's currently entitled right now. Might be rolling with Collective State Radio. I don't know. We'll see. We'll be posting it up soon. But welcome. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Louie. A lot of people call me LuRocK. You can call me either or. I can be reached through my email. You can hit up my website at itsthedaily.com. Check out the About section, I believe. Got my email in there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. If you think I'm whack, I should stop.
What?
Email me. I want to hear from you. I want to know why.
Little dumb motherfucker.
I want to know why. So, I have a blog post.
Smell me? Niggas know me.
Again, at itsthedaily.com. And I kind of put that together to give the listeners an idea of who the hell they're listening to. You know, I'm not anybody crazy by any means. I'm not a celebrity or anything like that. I'm just a regular guy from Long Beach, California, trying to hustle and climb up the ladder. And I kind of just wanted to give everyone an idea of the type of passion I have for hip hop, how much of a hip hop head I really am. Just kind of an idea of who I am as a person. Some of the more, I'm doing the quotes in the air, professional credentials that I have. And just kind of, I guess, my story, my journey. I'm definitely not new to this, but I am true to this, so they say. And yeah, I would definitely encourage you to check out the blog post. It'll definitely give you an idea. It'll give you an idea of, like I said, just the type of person I am and my passion for hip hop. And I think it'll make a lot more sense, and you'll know why I'm doing a podcast like this, because let's face it, I've been involved in all type of different digital outlets. I've seen them since like the inception, like when they were first coming out. The evolution and things like social media and the way these artists are broadcasting and promoting themselves now, and there's just so many different outlets and so many different websites and apps and things. It's just crazy. Things have definitely changed when it comes to that. Definitely a lot more options now in music than there were previously. I mean, there were options, but it's just ridiculous now. It's on a whole nother level. I mean, you don't even need, look at this, I don't even need a radio station. I'm making my own podcast. I'm making my own podcast, and I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to put it on the internet, and hopefully you guys will tune in and check it out and, you know, like to hear some of the things that I have to say. I'm getting more organized. I'm going to learn as I keep going. Broadcasting, radio, whatever you want to call it. I've always been, you know, I've always had a passion for it. I had buddies in college that used to do sports, regular weekly sports shows and things like that. And, you know, I messed up. I should have took more of an interest in regards to broadcasting type of side. But, you know, I'm a writing type of guy. I've always been like that since high school. Shout out Mr. Brown, Lakewood High School. He's the one that kind of pushed me and let me know that I could pursue writing. You know, I was never a math guy. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to write. I wanted to cover music professionally. I've always had two passions in life, skateboarding and music. Those have always been my interests more than anything, probably. Anywho, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to leave, you know, college and graduate. That's what I did. My major is in communications with an emphasis in journalism. Learned a lot of good things. A lot of great professors at CSUDH. Shout out to Toros. Let's go. Anyways, but yeah, that was what I wanted to do. I knew people that were into broadcasting and radio and things like that, and I should have took advantage. I should have went to the station downstairs. I should have checked it out, or the building that they had it in, but I didn't. You know, I was working a full-time job and doing things like that. Basically, life gets in the way, and I was busting out big papers and all kind of things like that, and reading a lot, and I didn't have no damn time. And that's a separate degree all in itself. But look, I'm getting back to my point now. Look at look what I can do from home. And the radio business is so damn competitive. Everybody and their mom wants to be on the radio. But you know what? I'm going to teach myself how to edit and put these things together and how to do this and that, because that's what I've always done. You can go to my YouTube channel and see my YouTube channel, Collective State TV, boasting nearly 3 million views.
That's what you got to say, huh?
Yeah. Journalists these days are definitely getting involved with a lot more things, and it's not just writing, it's all kind of different things. And I'd love to have some sort of job out in LA, but because at least for me over here in Long Beach, everything's out in LA pretty much, at least that I want to get involved in. But I've had the pleasure of interning and being a part of big stuff out there, like Ski TV. I was out in Ski TV in Hollywood for a year interning, and I'm actually over there now periodically doing visuals and shooting video for interviews with Mellow One of White Label Radio. So, but yeah, competitive world out here, and I'm just trying to utilize the options and the tools that are available to me. Like I said from out the beginning, a lot of things have changed. It's a digital age. As a matter of fact, I even have a song that I put together, because if I didn't mention, I also done music myself. You can catch my music on soundcloud.com/LuRocK. I don't have everything up there, but I got a little bit of mix of some of my beginning stuff all the way to my most recent stuff. My last release was in 2011. I don't usually talk about my music a lot. If you know me or you've come across me, it's usually something you find out later on. I've always been like that. I never, so many damn rappers and stuff and producers, I'm never the type to go up to you and say, hey, well, yeah, I do music and things like that. But I'm just letting you guys know, because I'm trying to show you examples of the different types of outlets I've been involved in and the different things that I do, from video production to music to, so forth. I can't really think right now off top, but that's why I'm utilizing a podcast. This is new to me, but I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna figure it out, and we don't need a radio station. We could do this shit from the house, from the homie's house, or wherever. You get the point. So, anyways, yeah, check out the blog post. itsthedaily.com. It'll give you kind of more of an idea. And if you're tuning in, I thank you for your time. I know we're all busy, and we have lives and things going on, but kind of segues into my first story perfectly. I wanted to touch on the new interview that went up with and mind you, by the way, I don't have a new co-host with me or anything like that, because this is all still very new and I just don't have anybody with me today. So I'm kind of just, hope you'll bear with me. I'm just trying to knock out a few different segments and things that I want to talk about and just put this content out, because it goes hand in hand with the website, itsthedaily.com, and maybe I'll even put this up on my channel. I don't know. Probably will, but it's still in the early works. Anyways, let's go over some of these bullet points. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was in regards to the new Dame Dash interview. Dame Dash did a new Breakfast Club interview, and I thought it was really good. As usual, the Breakfast Club always comes through very professional. They got Charlamagne, he's kind of the loose cannon. You got Angela Yee. Angela Yee asked some of the harder hitting questions, personal, I guess I want to say, maybe. DJ Envy's usually always pretty good. They just have a good chemistry, all three of them together. And I enjoy their interviews. They usually get a lot of good people in there. So they had recently Dame in there, and Dame brought up a good point and kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it was in regards to people working. And he said that it's a Harlem thing and that it's all about being your own boss and having that attitude that you shouldn't have to call another man boss, because if you're calling them boss, then you're calling them daddy. Now, I get it. I understand the hustler mentality, and I like that, but I don't like it, because I know a lot of dudes that would take offense to that, including myself as one, because not all of us are privileged to the opportunities that some of these people out there that have been fortunate enough to have those opportunities, they got those. They should feel blessed. They should feel, like they did it, But I want to point out with that is that he said that, but at the same time, when DJ Envy was trying to have him explain his, humble beginnings, he kind of didn't really want to touch on it. The only thing that he said that I can recall during the interview was that he was selling records. But then Envy countered and said something about, well, how did you get the studio time for the records? And, in typical Dame fashion, he loses it and kind of digresses and goes off into another area. And you kind of forget what the question was that was asked. But I thought it was a very good point, and it's basically saying what I'm saying. Not everybody has the opportunities like you did, and I don't know Dame Dash's full story, but I'm sure he was out there hustling in the streets, selling and doing what he was doing, and made that money, because it takes money to make money. And from my own experience from pressing up records and things like that, yeah, it's good to have an attitude to invest yourself, be a boss. Don't wait for the next man, get out there and do it. I used to do that stuff all the time, man. I used to be out in Hollywood, I middle of the night, 11 o'clock, midnight, I'm waiting for people to get out of shows off of Sunset Boulevard, waiting for them to come out the House of Blues just so I can give them my demo, which I didn't charge. And I'm tired of going to shows, by the way, sidebar, of people trying to sell me the CDs and telling me that I can make a donation from $1 to $5. I don't want to make a fucking donation.
Man,
if you want me to hear your music, just give me the damn CDs so I can listen to it, and I'll give you an honest feedback, and I'll hit you by email, social media, whatever. But I don't like when dudes do that, man. I used to press up my shit and invest in myself. Color fucking print on the CD, on the disc, on everything. Every fucking thing, because I was investing in myself, and it was about the music, it was about the passion, and I just wanted people to listen. I didn't care about making a profit. I was in it for the long haul. I had a fucking job. I didn't care about the money, you know? I just wanted people to hear my music, hear the shit that I've been working on. And it annoys me when people come up to me and give me the whole speech, and I feel like I'm being sold to. And I've worked in retail for a couple years. I know a fucking salesman when I see one, you know? Anyways, so I don't even remember what my point was, but back to Dame. So yeah, Dame was saying that Envy kind of took offense to it, and you could tell it was getting kind of heated in there, and rightfully so. He was addressing his kids and asking him questions and kind of spinning the interview on him. But I will say I like Dame Dash. I've always been a fan of Dame Dash. I remember seeing him. The only time I ever seen him was in 2004 when I went to go see Kanye West at his first live Los Angeles performance. This was like a day or two right after the College Dropout came out. And he was there with Bigsburg. And the two were just supporting Kanye West. They were just side stage. And literally that was the only time that I ever seen either one of them ever again. Probably ever in life. But yeah, man. So that, like I said, I'm a big fan of Dame. He went in there, he said what he said. He had a lot of opinions on working and men and, kind of a lot of machismo talk, I guess. And he was talking about how he instilled those values in his son real early. And that's why his son owns the cookie company, and that's why he owns the restaurant and all that other good stuff, which is great, because his dad is Dame Dash, and he was able to do that because of that, and then because of the hustler spirit that he instilled in him. So yeah, I understand that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really apply to every single person, and it's not that easy to someone just get up and go do what you got to do, which brings us back to the original point, was because he got the jump start with wherever he got that money from, because we can only assume he didn't really address it. But again, I have a lot of respect for Dame Dash. I think he's a great hustler. He's always been, someone that's heavily influential in the hip-hop industry, just in general. And, you got to give him his credit where it's due. He definitely didn't want to talk about Jay-Z, though. So I don't know what that was all about. He did mention specifically during the interview that he had only spoken to Jay-Z twice in the last 15 years, or something to that effect, but it was crazy. So yeah. Great interview with Dame Dash in the Breakfast Club. Check that out. Would love to know what your thoughts are on his idea of working and what makes a man, and does working really pull from your character, and you as a man, does it really take something away because you have a boss? What are we all supposed to do? We all supposed to just start selling drugs, or would that make us a man? Getting locked up and going to jail? Can we save face then? What's right and what's wrong? Hit me up. Visit the website, itsthedaily.com. You can email me. My email's there. I'm not sure exactly what email's listed. That's why I'm not really giving you an email, but I'll double check that and have that ready for you on the next episode. But either way, the contact information is there should you want to reach out. And, I can address your comments, questions, concerns, whatever you want to talk about. So let's see what else we got. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, West Coast, Compton's very own Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar's new LP, To Pimp a Butterfly, was recently, the title was recently released, along with the artwork, which was pretty dope. That's something I want to address. It shows a bunch of people with their shirts off, and they're all just a bunch of guys hanging out in front of the White House. It looks kind of crazy. They got a judge on the floor they're kind of dog-piled on top of. He got his eyes crossed out, looking like he's dead or something, or they knocked him out or something. But I'm kind of confused on the symbology of it, but I guess that's something more that we'll learn as the record progresses and we get to hear more from Kendrick and, the other people that are featured on it. Hopefully, I'm not sure. I haven't really seen a track list. Last time I looked on iTunes, I didn't see anything but Blacker the Berry, and there's nobody featured on that if I'm correct. So yeah, I just wanted to address that. The album cover was really cool. I thought it really brought home something different, something that we hadn't seen, especially in front of the White House. I mean, let's be honest, a bunch of black guys in front of the White House, dogpiled on top of a judge who looks like he's getting fucked up. It's pretty crazy. I I would love to hear more on the actual symbology or what they were trying to accomplish with that. I thought that was really cool. And also they just released a new track off of that, which was the latest leak. That one is called King Kunta. That one, as you remember, was being praised a couple months ago from the likes of like Peter Rosenberg and a couple other like industry heads and people that got the chance to hear that stuff early, because you know Top Dog, TDE, all that stuff, they keep that all that music very low key. Nobody's privileged to hear that unless you're probably within directly the TDE camp. So that one I recently got a chance to sit down with, and I really like it. And that's exactly what I wanted to hear Kendrick on. I was cool. I like the message. I like where he was going with it. There's nothing else out there like that, and that's why he is Kendrick Lamar. You even notice his look now. His look, he's changing. He doesn't even look the same anymore. He's growing out kind of like the nappy hair, twisties or whatever he's doing. It's just all over the place. He don't wear the button-up flannels and the LA hats. I mean, I can't remember the last time I seen him out there like that. So whatever they're doing in his camp, they're trying to keep him separate from everything else, from the status quo. And I respect that. And he is definitely sticking out. Back to I, though. I like the message, but I just didn't like the song very much. The song was okay. I think it's more so the production. I don't like the original Isley Brothers jam that much. It's okay. So when I hear that, it just reminds me of that. Obviously it's a better touched up version, but I guess it's just the sample selection for me that just didn't resonate with me. But the last couple tracks that they've released, I've really liked, and that's basically what I wanted to hear from Kendrick. I wanted to hear something raw. I wanted to hear him go in. I wanted to hear him touch on something and really say some things, to get people's attention. Because let's face it, when Kendrick Lamar is spitting, people are listening. They're listening. He was recently on Power 106. I'm sorry, not Power 106. Cut that. Real 92.3, LA's new home for hip hop and R&B. Thank you. So he was on the real 92.3 with Big Boy. I believe this was the day he came back or the day after he came back. But either way, it was in Big Boy's first week over there, and he went on there and he spit a little freestyle. It's probably some written, something we'll probably hear off the album. But either way, even if it wasn't, I mean, that's not taking anything away from Kendrick. Kendrick was spitting. He was giving people some new bars they hadn't heard, and I, for one, can appreciate that. I'm a fan of Kendrick. I followed his career ever since the beginning when he was, doing small shows like in LA, like at the El Rey, the Observatory, things like that. I mean, I've been to multiple shows early on in his career. I was there when he got crowned like the new future, the king of the West, the person basically to grab the baton and go. I remember Dr. Dre was there, Snoop Dogg was there, The Game was there, Corrupt was there, everybody was there. It was just a West Coast fest, and I remember that's actually featured on my website. You can go to youtube.com/collectivestatetv. I have the full video up of the entire process, and you can see Kendrick Lamar cry and get emotional because he realized the impact of the situation and what he really wanted. I mean, this is this guy's dreams. Imagine that. I actually got a little choked up in there as well. I mean, I didn't shed a tear, but I got a little choked up as well because as a hip-hop artist, as someone who struggled, I mean, Compton is only 10 minutes away from Long Beach, man. My parents are both from Compton, so to me, he feels like he's someone from the home team, And to see that and to know that, I know what it is to grind and to make videos and promote that and go do shows and showcases and, put countless hours in the studio. So to see that guy, that was genuine. And that's why I really support him, man, because he's a genuine guy who's really out here spitting, and you can tell he really loves the culture. He really loves hip hop. And I really get confused when I hear people, talk shit about him and hate. I don't get it, because he delivers every time with his music. Every time he delivers with something tight. I've seen this dude at Pay Dues. I've seen him at what else? Rock the Bells. I mean, all kind of different stuff, man. I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. I mean, you may say dick riding and all this other stupid shit that people like to say, but either way, I'm a fan. I buy the music. I go support the shows. Whatever. I'm a fan. Fuck you. So, let's see. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. King Kunta, dope. 2 thumbs up. I like it. New album cover, I like it. Dropping March 23rd, To Pimp a Butterfly. Go cop it. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. I know I am. I'm going to grab that. Should be a good album. Let's see. All right, so segueing into that, since we're on the West Coast, kind of train of thought, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little behind the scenes feel for one of my most recent assignments I went to go do. I was in Orange County at Santa Ana at the observatory venue that's over there in Santa Ana. And if you don't know, Santa Ana right now, or the observatory, I'm sorry, is just the spot right now for hip hop shows, or just shows in general. But they have a lot of hip hop shows, and they're getting bigger artists to come through, and it's becoming very popular. Very popular amongst the kids, older ages, what have you. Everybody's over there. It's popping off right now. A lot of people are going there. It definitely doesn't deal with a lot of, at least from my experience, a lot of the politics that you come across in LA. You don't got to deal with stupid prices for parking. The venue's cool. They actually run the fucking AC in there. It feels good, half the time. It does get crazy in there. People do get crazy. I've seen mosh pits. People get tossed out. Sidebar, they got some big Samoan security guards over there, so they do not play, so don't piss them off. They definitely have security on lock, and they will toss your ass out and fuck you up, so that's just what it is. So yeah, come through and check the observatory. The observatory is pretty cool. If you haven't been to a show, I suggest that's probably a good venue to kick off with. I mean, I still go out to LA and I'll go to different venues and this and that, but I'm noticing a lot of times now it's being, at least a couple of shows that I've seen that I've wanted to go to that interest me are like at the Belasco, or like clubs and stuff like that just pile you in early and then just want you to sit there and kick it and drink. And and sometimes these people that come out the crowd, they're not there to kick it and go to clubs and do all that. If they wanted to do that, they would go somewhere else, but I guess some people are, but basically they just want you to sit in there and kick it for a couple hours, and they don't advertise that, none of that. They just want to get you in there, get you to the bar, and have you do your thing and chill, so it ends up becoming a situation where you're waiting there for hours. So those type of shows have kind of pushed me away as of late. I haven't really done that. I mean, I've done so many that it's just standing and waiting and all that shit. I'm kind of over it, I guess. So yeah, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but that's just what it is. I'm giving you my personal opinion, and I've been to a lot of shows, a lot of different venues around Southern California, from San Diego to LA to Orange County to fucking Pomona, wherever, I just all over the place. Bakersfield, Riverside. I don't know, there's too many. I got a whole wall full of ticket stubs. It's just something I do. I like to go with the homies. I like to go with my girl. It's a good time. I like to support and see the music. That's my thing. So anyways, the Dogg Pound had a show recently at the observatory, and they basically did dog food in its entirety. Now, apparently that's never been done before, so I was there. I was kicking it backstage. Don Bishop Magic Wand was there. Shout out to Don. We've been to his the Bishop. We've been to his radio station before with Fly Society. Check the blog out, check the post like I was talking about, but I do work for Fly Society Online, Fly Society Clothing. It is co-owned by Terry Kennedy, professional skateboarder, rides for Baker, and we were out there because we do have the Fly Society music, FSMG, and we do have artists like Dank the Kid, J Deeds, and we were out there basically promoting the music, and they wanted to talk to Terry about skateboarding and things of that nature. So it was a real cool studio, cool setup. But the Don was back there. Everybody was back there. Daz, Corrupt. You could tell a bunch of people from the neighborhood. It was a real cool spot, I guess. I just want to say, we were all just chilling, kicking. Everybody was on some positive vibes. Apparently, at one point, I guess I pushed a guy. My girlfriend was telling me this later on. I was going through the crowd, and I had my backpack on, right? And I was in the back, and I'm trying to weave in and out of people. It was so crowded, and I'm trying to walk, and I'm walking, and I guess at some point I must have turned, and when I turned, I hit some guy with my backpack, and I didn't even feel it, didn't even know, and this dude had a cup of Hennessy or something and a white t-shirt on, and I'm walking, right, and I keep walking a little bit more, and then I stop to turn to talk to a friend who I was there to meet up with. Actually, that was Mellow One of White Label Radio, and we were getting ready to set up because I had just gotten kicked off the side stage. That's another thing. We were supposed to have all access to the entire spot where we wanted to record, shoot, but at the last second, security reasons, I don't know why, or I don't know, they kicked us off. Media had to go, so I had to go to the pit. That's where I was going when I hit that guy. And my girl was telling me, hey, that guy, that big ass dude that you just hit, you knocked his drink and it went on his t-shirt. All I could think of in my head was, oh shit. I didn't even know. I didn't see it. I didn't feel it. I didn't know. So apparently he was upset, And I guess he told a friend of his something about that he was going to whoop my ass, or he was thinking about whooping my ass. I don't know.
I only came here to do two things, man.
What are your thoughts?
Kick some ass and drink some
beer. Was it my fault?
What do you almost think? Out of beer.
What would you do in that sort of situation? I mean, I've been on enough shows not to even wear a white t-shirt to begin with. Just because, I mean, you have everybody pressed up against you and shit gets crazy. You're sweating, and I wouldn't even wear white to begin with. But anyways, I guess that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it was an accident. I was walking through, trying to get to the side stage, to the media pit, which was hell to get through a sea of people just to get into that little confined space. But long story short, yeah, I almost got killed on the way there. Security was tripping on me, giving me the whole rundown, 3 songs and you're gone and all that good stuff they like to tell you, and they like to flex on you. And so I didn't say it was free of politics over there. I just said that it's a little less than LA. But yeah, so that was my experience with that. The crowd was really hyped. I had a couple friends I didn't even know were going to be there. They fell through. They were somewhere in the crowd. And I got some good footage, man. And I just was covering the event for the venue and for White Label Radio, which is based out of Dash Radio in Hollywood, aka Ski TV. And we were just up there working, man, having a good time. And another show. This was a late show. This was like around 11. I don't think the Dogg Pound went on until even like 1. They pushed it because everything shuts down by 2. They don't play that shit. You ain't up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. They want everybody to go home. So yeah, man, these guys came out. They did a good show. Lady of Rage was there. I think I saw Mac Lucci on stage. Yeah, it was crowded. I mean, that's what I didn't understand. They didn't want media on there, or maybe they just had their own in-house media, but they, like, the only thing I didn't like was there's so many people that ended up on stage. They made the stage so small for the Dogg Pound. They didn't really have space to do their thing, and they were just in this confined space. They didn't really have too much room to go back and forth. They just kind of went left, right, and just made the best of it. But I was just thinking, like, man, like, there's so many angles we could have got up there. It would have been better. It would have been, but, it's just one big party, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, that was my experience at the recent Dogg Pound show at the Observatory. And, again, check out the Observatory. Check out the Dogg Pound Dogg Food if you've never heard that. It's a classic-ass album. Yeah, it was real hood-tastic in there. I loved it. Had a good time. Corrupt and Daz came and did their thing. Sorry to the guy I knocked your Hennessy over. Had you come up to me upset, I probably would have just bought your ass a drink and said, sorry, it's not that serious. So shit, I could have gave you the money to get a new YT, maybe a pro club, heavy duty, heavyweight, I don't know. That was that, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys, from time to time, I'll give you a little insight, a little behind-the-scenes experience I had at a recent show, or, I do all kind of things. I'll go out with the skate team for Fly Society, and we'll shoot video, and I'll take, amateurs like Mikey Haywood or Dre Malone with me, and we go and we meet up with Anthony McNeil, and shout out to the guys, or Alec Jameer, Jacob Walter, Terry Kennedy, and we'll go and we'll shoot with some of the Baker guys, and we'll do photos and videos, and just to come back to post some stuff on Instagram, on the website, things like that. So if it's that or hip-hop related content, maybe I'll give you guys a little behind the scenes words, let you know how it went. Let's see, another thing I want to get into, since we're talking about that gentleman who got so pissed at myself, is Safaree Samuels. Safaree Samuels is Nicki Minaj's ex-husband, and he was recently out, I believe, in Philly or Brooklyn, somewhere, and he was trying to shoot a music video. As you guys all know, I'm sure most of you know that he's always done music. He was very involved in Nicki's career. He did a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I believe production-wise, writing, a lot of the stuff was him and her, and he had interview on The Breakfast Club where he talked about this in depth. And he was out there and he was trying to shoot a video for his stuff, his content, and he basically got surrounded by 5 or 6 dudes, and they were tripping on him, and they basically told him he had to get out of here. And I believe the clip went on Vine or something, and I saw it. And I really want to commend that dude for just walking away and not making it a situation, or going to go get his goons and come back the very same day, hoping to catch those dudes. He handled it for the most part, for what I could see, as a gentleman, and he didn't let it get to him. At the end of the day, I'm sure the guy's got money. He has a lot more to lose than a couple dudes on the street with heat and that are ready to lose their freedom and lives at any second. It just ain't worth it, especially when you got money and all this other shit waiting for you at home. You didn't even have to shoot the video in the hood, to be honest with you, but I give him props. I give Safaree Samuels props for leaving that scene and setting a good example. However, Safaree went back the next day with his goons or his squad, and he was deep. And he was out there taking photos, trying to prove to people, trying to solidify his manhood. I'm sure that's what he was doing. I get it. I understand. He's in music. But from what I understand, I don't listen to his music, but from what I understand, he's not even really that type of tough guy. So I don't know why he would go back out there. I don't know. Maybe he really needed the shot. Maybe his ego was hurt. I don't know. But I like the fact that he walked away and he showed people a different example. He didn't have to talk shit. He didn't have to jump on social media and do this and that and explain himself. He walked away. He didn't get mad, too crazy. He just walked away. Remember, you can walk away in life from certain situations. Not everything warrants a reaction. There's a lot of people out here that are negative. A lot of people that want to hate on you and pull you down.
The fuck is he talking about?
A lot of the times, if you can walk away, that's the best thing. You don't want to be sitting up in a cell or a prison or anything like that. Jail. Thinking, what the fuck did I do? It's just not worth it. But I'm not here to preach to you. I just wanted to put that good energy out there because so many negative things are talked about and promoted on the daily that I feel like that was a good piece of, something positive that people can look at and respect. I mean, fuck, there's like 10 fights on World Star a second, but there's only one or a couple of scenarios like that featured where somebody walks away and avoids an ass whooping or a death or a killing, and that's the same shit, but you get what I mean. So I salute you, sir. I know we touched on the whole West Coast vibe a little earlier, but speaking of walking away, I got to touch on the whole Suge Knight fiasco. That's right. Yeah, Suge Knight, he basically, I don't know if he's hit or what, but he was in Compton. If you haven't heard or seen the video, he's basically at the Tams. It's the Tams security surveillance. He pulls up to the Tams sidewalk. He pulls up and he's met there by Terry. First he's met by Bone. I don't know the gentleman's name, Bone Sloan or Clay Bone Sloan, something like that. But his alias is Bone. You've seen him in Training Day. He's the guy that let Jake walk away. Remember? Said, Jake, get up out of here, homie. We got this. So that's that guy. So Bone was there, walks up to the truck. Suge pulls up. Mind you, didn't seem to have a problem pulling up. Pulls up, sits there, and you can't really see, but from what Suge says is that he started getting attacked through the window from Bone, which he may have, and he guns it and reverses it. The side rearview mirror basically hits him, knocks him down. He looks like he's hurt. Now there's a small pause before anything really happens, and then you see Terry, which is Suge Knight's boy, who apparently is the third party, the middleman and all this, that was apparently going to set up this meeting between him and Dre at the Tams, which doesn't even sound right to begin with. I mean, why would Dr. Dre be at Tams in Compton? Really? Even with security and all his people, I just don't see Dre going to the Tams in Compton. I don't get it. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't see it. But especially not to meet Suge Knight. Come on. So he backs up, and then there's a small pause, and then he guns it over Bone. And in the meantime, he didn't even hit Bone if that was his intention to kill him. He runs over his legs, and he has so much momentum that he just kind of flies over Bone, and the weight of the car and everything just hits Terry straight forward and hits the shit out of him. And you don't see that because it got blurred, thankfully. But yeah, he got pretty fucked up. But now they're saying that he was a part of the plan as well, too, and that he was trying to set up Suge because that's why he had him go out there to Compton to roll with them. And I'm not sure if I believe that. I don't know. All I know is that I'm not sure exactly how well Suge is going to be able to get out of this. I mean, the man seems like he has 100 lives. But his new defense and the most recent thing that's come about, which is why I bring this up, is because he says that out of his left eye, he's legally blind. Now, whether that's true or not, or whether he has to prove that in court, I mean, that's for the lawyers to decide and fight amongst each other in court and figure all that out with the judge. But, I just don't know if that's enough, because the video clearly shows him backing up, and he could have left, and there was that small good pause. He could have took off down the street, but he didn't. He didn't take off down the street. He gunned it to try to run over Bone, and then it looks like he intentionally ran over his friend Terry. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know how to call it, but I'm kind of interested to see what everybody thinks and what your thoughts are on that. I mean, is he really legally blind at his left eye? Is that because that's what he's saying, that's why he wasn't able to take off and leave down the street the way that when you see it, I'm sure you'll think the same thing. Like, why didn't you just leave? But he's saying that he thought he was leaving. He thought he was going down the street. But I mean, this is Suge Knight. Was he really trying to leave? Have you ever known Suge to not or to run from a fight? TMZ ended up posting out that old video following that shows him leaving a club with Cat Williams after getting into kind of a small fight outside, and they ended up jumping into the car and taking off, and he shot through a crowd of people on that too. So I guess they could try to use that against him in court. It's his MO. I'm not sure, but I just thought that was pretty crazy, man. I feel like this guy, he's been firing his lawyers. I just don't know if he can beat this one and he's panicking or what. But I know at the same time, he's also sick. He can say something about his sickness, coming into play and affecting his ability to make good decisions and drive off, or why I can't see, or my heart rate was up because I was getting punched and I was, And then on top of that, you see somebody run over when Bone's on the ground, and you can't tell what it is because it's so like cloudy and just grainy, the footage, that you just see like a black object taken from him or him given to somebody, and they put it like in their pants or their pocket or something.
Give me the
but
motherfucking
there's
gun,
just so
Trey.
many. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever know the truth of what really happened there, but shit got messy. And Suge was in the middle, and I just don't know if this dude can beat it this time. I'd be very surprised. At the end of the day, it's just another crazy chapter in the saga that is Suge Knight. This guy's had such a crazy life and had so many different things happen to him, and in and out of prison, and just being hip-hop's bully, and it's kind of crazy now to see him sort of deteriorating and going through all these health issues, and telling the judge now that he can't see, and having these issues still, and still fighting with people as old as he is. And I mean, the man just refuses to change, or and he's so hated by people now. Like, it's almost like people don't remember, or they don't care anymore. Like, their hate is, I don't know. People still fear him, and don't get me wrong, people still get intimidated by him, but it's just not the same like it was before. Like, people used to be like in a lot of fear of that man, and like I said, that's just another chapter that's part of his crazy life. I mean, who does that? Who has juice like that, where you show up and people fear you in clear rooms and just don't want to be around you? I don't know. So there's that. And also too, last night, another thing I wanted to talk about was last night Justin Bieber, of all people, was the subject of a roast for Comedy Central, and I can't tell you how excited I am to see this. And the only reason I even know about this so well is because Jeff and Eric Rosenthal, who I follow, been fans of for years, at It's The Real, kept promoting it and talking about it on Snapchat and Facebook and other media outlets, I think like on Instagram or something, but basically reminded me about it. By the way, those photos afterwards of them on the red carpet was pretty hilarious. But yeah, man, so this dude, Justin Bieber, stepped up to the plate. I wonder how much he got paid for that, or even if these people even get paid. I would think so, especially for something like that. But this dude, man, from what I understand, last night had everybody on his head, from Shaq to Martha Stewart to Snoop Dogg and Hannibal Buress and just all kind of different people. Kevin Hart was going in. Like, everybody was clowning this dude. And if you know Justin Bieber has had a crazy year. I want to say that was 2013, 2014 maybe, but this guy was in and out of trouble. Like, he was just, people were clowning him then. But as of late, he's kind of simmered down. I haven't really heard too much from him. I mean, I'm sure I would see that shit on the blogs and the websites and the news and all that, because when that dude's fucking up, they love reporting on it. And there hasn't really been anything that I've seen with Justin Bieber, but yeah, I think he kind of just went with it and gave people what they wanted. He knows the public has a certain perception of him, and I mean, he gets away with a lot of shit. And, if he was anybody else, his ass probably would have got deported already, but because he's fucking Justin Bieber, nobody says anything, or everybody looks the other way, or he, puts enough money in somebody's hand that they look the other way, they don't care.
Doesn't make sense. That's a weird question.
Yeah, from what I understand, they were going in. Seth Rogen I think was there as well. I think he made some comments about Selena Gomez. So, nothing is off limits when it comes to these roasts. And I'm sure that these dudes were giving Justin Bieber the business, pause, and they were just going in and clowning on this guy. So I can't wait to see that. And another person that was talking about it a lot was Snoop Dogg. And I don't know if you guys follow Snoop Dogg on Instagram, but have you noticed how Snoop Dogg is always posting up shit? Like all the time. Like this dude is like a vampire. He don't go to sleep. He's always on Instagram posting up something funny, some photos and videos and all kind of crazy shit, memes, and he's crazy. Like you wouldn't even think that Snoop Dogg would be. I mean, where does he find half of this shit? That's what I'd be thinking. I don't know about you, but yeah, this dude Snoop is a character on there, and I think one of my favorites that he does is the Todd character. I don't know what he's filming for or what the whole purpose of that is, but I can't wait to see what comes about from that. But yeah, when he does the so sis Todd, that's the shit right there. That's funny. I like that. I like that side of Snoop, and I think it's funny that Snoop even takes it there and pushes people's buttons. Because if you ever check in the comments in those other videos, man, it's just like people are calling him a racist and saying it's racism and all kind of shit. So it definitely sparks some sort of attention in people that they can't help but watch it and leave negative comments and take the time out. So there's that. So yeah, Justin Bieber. I hope I'm not digressing too much, but yeah, Justin Bieber got roasted, man. Can't wait to check that out. So just kind of want to end things here. And, like I said, I know I told you several times, I'm not really organized fully yet. I don't have my co-host here. I don't have anybody here to interview. But, schedules get crazy. Life gets in the way. And week after week, I keep saying, hey, I'm going to get on this shit and I'm going to make, something. So I'm going to continue to get better, get things organized. Hopefully you guys start participating and listening and tuning in and sending in your comments or your questions and things like that. And I'll address it. Send it. Even if you say that I fucking am whack and I shouldn't do this and stick to doing what I'm doing about all other shit, just send it through. I want to read that shit. That shit's funny to me. I got a funny sense of humor. So send that shit to me. Let me know what you guys think. Also to some of the questions I talked about and introduced during the show. So I'm gonna get more organized. I'm gonna get people in here. I'm gonna figure out how I want to run this shit. I'm gonna lock down a name, and shit is gonna be tight, man. But like I said, I've been saying that for like the last 5 weeks, probably, maybe even more. And just week after week, something gets in the way, or I'm too busy, or like I said, life. So I want to thank you guys though. For your time, and I appreciate you just tuning in and listening. If you do listen either halfway, a quarter, the whole way, I don't know. Okay. I just appreciate your time, listening, because there's no music on here. It's just me talking to you, talking about music, different topics, things going on. In the hip hop world, on the blogs, on the websites, the new music, what I'm thinking about this, my experiences within the industry that I get the pleasure of being involved with. So yeah, tune in, man, and I will definitely address, like I said, anything that you guys want to say, or you guys got any questions. Hopefully this is the beginning of something that could be more, something that could be tight. I like the radio. I like having this option available to me and being able to have another digital outlet to reach you guys and talk to you and show you a different side of me outside of the music or the business end or anything like that. Because here we're just going to, talk facts. We're going to talk shit. It'll be what it's going to be. And hopefully, like I said, I get somebody in here and you guys can, hit them up with questions and things like that. And